So hi Shikha, hi Rohini, welcome to
Hi.
Udaipur Tales.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Firstly, you guys were amazing.
Shukriya.
So I just wanted to ask you, it seemed like you guys were narrating your own story. An inquisitive mind of mine wants to ask, how much of that was truth and how much of that was an exaggerated form of reality?
Well, my piece is an exaggerated form of reality, and 20% is a lie, as in is fiction. Embellishment. Let's say it like that.
And how do you frame it? How do you write it in a way that it looks so real?
We've been doing theatre for many years now back in Mumbai. And storytelling over the years, it's very varied. There are all
Yeah.
sorts of voices out there. There are all sorts of ways of performing a piece. And when you do a story which is not yours and the character is not yours and you're picking up a character,
Yeah.
that's the fun when you have to try to make it your own.
Yeah.
But when you're saying your own words that you have written yourself, I think it's the experience and the fun and the trust that you have with the audience to kind
Yeah.
of bring it to life.
And for you, how much of that was truth and how much of that was exaggerated form of reality?
Most of it was true.
Okay.
Actually, all of it is true.
So then you had a very interesting life.
Oh
If
my
that-
God, interesting is a good word. Thank you. Yes, yes.
So Shikha tells us that you are an RJ
Yes.
and a very celebrated one.
Yes,
How
one
did
of our best.
Thank you.
how did the transition happen from RJ to storytelling?
It's not happened.
You're
I
still-
think that I don't transition at all. I stay in the same place and I do everything, everywhere, all at once. I think the greatest gift of being or doing anything that I do, there's one common thread. Whether it's being on the radio, whether it's being on stage, whether it's performing in the theatre, is it forces you to be in the present. And I think that demand is all you need to service. So I enjoy being in the present across all of these mediums, whether it's emceeing or performing as a theatre artist or being on radio. So
Okay. So I want to ask you both of you, um, how do you think theatre help an individual apart from writing skills or making the person a better actor? How does it help a human being or an individual?
You learn how to interact with the human being, with the rest of the world, because it's a live performance. It's you're breathing together with the audience is breathing with you, you're exchanging energies, it's an energy exchange. So you're just learning how to just live
To live
and coexist.
and to be human.
Yes, 100%.
And for you?
इनका जो एंगल है वो बहुत शानदार है, कमाल है. मेरे लिए सिर्फ लाइन सीखना है. Because in most other mediums there is no need for me to learn any lines.
Yeah.
रेडियो पर तो हम कुछ सीखते नहीं हैं, हम सिर्फ spontaneously बोलते हैं. एमसीइंग में हमको एक स्क्रिप्ट यूजुअली एक कुछ तो इंडिकेटर्स होता है, तो वो देख देख के हम उससे बिल्ड कर सकते हैं. बट थिएटर, especially when it's these performances where you have monologues or even when you're doing an ensemble, for me it's of course trying to be somebody else.
Yeah.
Or this one is different, but when you're playing a character, I think when you're playing somebody else, it's a totally different ask of the rest of me.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that. I wish I did it more, but
Yeah.
as of right now, there's only 24 hours in a day.
So Shikha, yesterday we were talking to Meeta Vashishji, who was here yesterday, and she told us she became an actor because she realized that she wanted to do everything, and only an acting as a profession allows you to be everybody for a little span of time and then move ahead of it. What was it for you? What motivated you to become an actress?
I was a Nautanki since I was born, so I had no other choice. This is the only way to express myself. So it was a calling that I had to give into.
And how do you think acting has evolved over the years? Because if we see actors like 50 years or 30 years down the ago, acting had a very different meaning, and today we have different line of actors. How do you think acting has evolved over the period of time?
Look, there will always be different styles, and this is in my humble opinion. There will always be different styles. The way which we might think would be a bit heightened today, back then was absolutely fine, and that is the theatrics that one wanted. And there are different times where you live, what your country is going through, what as a collective you're going through. You need different things in your life. Like, for example, the Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers films,
Yeah.
the musicals, came about when the Great Depression was on. So they showed you a world that you could escape to.
Yeah.
So I think styles will always evolve. But at the end of the day, when you're storytelling, when you're performing, you are conveying the human experience.
Yeah.
And that will always remain the same.
Yeah.
So you can cry in different ways. But what is making you cry will always be the same.
Yeah.
So, wow, that was a
क्या
great
बात है
answer.
यार,
यार.
इसका ये clip करके
I'm
मुझे दे
very
दो,
proud of
मैं radio में
myself.
चलाऊंगी।
Very personal. People take cinema very personally, and fortunately or unfortunately, people try to see the part of society in cinema. So cinema was supposedly to be entertained. It had nothing to do with the reality. Like a bit of it was, but not the
It will
majority.
always be.
Yeah.
Even the entertainment will be.
Yes.
Yeah, it will always be. Yes.
But people somehow take it very personally, and the idea of cinema is also changing. There were times when movies like Karwa, Piku, all these were also celebrated, and there are times like no matter how good of a story it is, if it doesn't have that action or that the masala in it,
That's
it
right
doesn't
now.
run.
It's the blockbuster era.
Yes. So, where do you think, like, how has the cinema changed, and like, what are the prospects of cinema, especially in the current times of India?
Yeah, I'll be very honest with you. This is a question to be asked for people who are studying film right now, to the students. As a working actor in the industry, काम दो, अपन ready hai. One is ready. Fortunate enough to have a body of work behind me where I can make different choices today.
Yes.
And according to whatever I'm feeling that day. And I don't need to explain that to anybody.
Yes.
However, I think I don't know where is it now, where is it going, this, that, whatever. I'm just like, I'm ready, I'm free, dates hai mere paas, chalo karte hain. And honestly, for me, I think when you do a lot of theatre, even when you're not getting a response when you want to, you get used to the fact saying, I'm here to entertain and I'll push myself harder.
So you're doing it for the love of art.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And the love for what I get out of it.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. So where is cinema today? Where will it go?
That's more of an Anurag Kashyap question.
Thinking about this, honestly. Speaking to Abhishek Chaubey, recently he's made some fantastic films. And I told him how I felt that, we're in the blockbuster era, but it's also films usually get made 2 years or 3 years later when you write it, right? When you write it, it was in the pandemic. And everything that we see today was written in the pandemic.
Yeah.
So why did we do that? Because they thought कि cinema खत्म हो जाएगी, बंद हो जाएंगे theatres, अगर ये पूरी दुनिया ऐसे चली तो.
Point. Yeah.
The hope was Jawan, the hope was Pathan, the hope is done. Today what we see is hope playing itself out.
Yes.
Now the hope has been, as a promise, it's been fulfilled.
Yeah.
We have established in the last 1 year that cinema will survive.
Cinema is going
People
nowhere.
will go to the theatres. ऐसे नहीं कि हम लोग theatre जाना बंद कर देंगे. That is interesting for me because now what gets written is simply going to be in the next 2 years. That's going to be an interesting phase because now we've established that there are multiple mediums. You can watch it at home, you can watch it in the theatres. So I find it very exciting actually, the prospect of what's coming up.
But do you think the OTTs have actually allowed a lot of good stories to come up in the eyes of the audience?
Don't you think so? I mean, this is a question that everybody's been asking for.
No, but I have an answer to that. No. Because 12th Fail is not an OTT film.
It should be a cinema film.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And people are watching it in the theatres. It's a middle of the road film that answers all of those burning questions that everybody has right now. Because it has disproved the theory that only big ticket or action films will get people in the theatres.
Yeah.
Everybody, I've been traveling for the last couple of months and it's been phenomenal how everyone says 12th Fail. How has that managed to cut through? I think it's the power of a story.
Yeah.
And I think we're at a festival that is celebrating stories. I think that's your answer right there.
Can I make a quick addition to it?
Sure.
Also, whoever you ask this question to, the realities are different, so their answers are going to be different. I think yes, OTT has changed the world for sure, 100%.
100%.
But I still don't have those many stories that I'm a part of, that I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Because one may or may not be considered for that. So it really depends on who you're asking and what their reality is.
So when you choose a role, do you see the script or do you see your part, how important your part is, or who the director is, or
Yes.
every aspect of it?
Yes, that's the job.
So हर ब्लॉक चेक होना चाहिए कि अगर 2-3 चेक होंगे तो चलेगा?
Depends आप कहाँ हो उस दिन.
what mood you are in?
What about Paise?
No, paise,
Of course,
paise,
like-
director, what kind of audience it's going to open to, and stuff like that. Lots of things. Lots of things.
And for you, radio has changed a lot in last years.
Yes.
Listening radio, celebrating radio. I know. I remember when I was small, I used to listen to Nilesh Misra and 92.7. A lot of
You're
kahaniyon.
a baby.
Yes, I would like to
Cute, but
believe
you're
so.
very good. This is amazing.
So all of that, and now these days people are not really looking towards like hearing radio, and because a lot of it is all ads, at least in our area. How do you think that has changed, and do you still get the response that you used to get, or
I mean, you
what is
do,
it?
right? Like, advertising is inescapable. I mean, everywhere you look, you will see advertising. The thing about radio is that it's an audio medium. The beautiful thing about radio is that because it's only audio, the retention is very high. So
Okay.
you would remember the ad more if you heard it on radio versus seeing it anywhere, because that's just how the audio
Yeah.
medium works.
Yeah.
Similarly, you would always remember your radio jockeys. Like if you quote a Nilesh Mishra to me today, it's the triumph of the medium.
Yeah.
So it's just the nature of the beast at this point. Can radio sell, more premium? Yes. But how do we get there? It's, as an industry, we're trying to figure that out. And we're also very digital now. So what has moved in the last 4 years has been completely the digitization of radio, where you can access us not just on
Ladies
the
and
dial,
gentlemen,
but also
Yeah.
on the internet.
So one last question, won't take much of your time. What do you think about festivals like Udaipur Tales in cities like Udaipur that is not very big but still evolving and developing? How does storytelling festivals and the art of storytelling being spread like this?
अभी भी काफी लोग हैं जिनका
What do you think about
इंतजार हम कर रहे हैं.
I
Again,
am
I
so.
request
I've been to
all
many
Indians,
festivals all over
please
India, and
request everyone outside.
yes, the metros
Be there.
definitely.
Performers
They
are ready.
have
They are waiting for you.
an audience which is already curated, which is already cultivated.
Waiting for the audience.
But I have to say that
जितने लोगों तक
Udaipur
मेरी
is
आवाज
one of the
पहुंच रही
few
है,
places where it's such an
गुजारिश
intelligent audience, it's such an
that we are about
engaged
to start.
audience. They're reacting to everything, they're listening to every word. There's a respect for theatre and for storytelling. And I really hope more people come to it because the hospitality is fantastic, the people are fantastic, the food is brilliant, the weather is amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
Volunteers,
And what a great
Mumbai's
audience.
weather here.
Mumbai has no weather.
please be there.
And for
Call
you,
everyone in.
I will echo everything Shikha said, but
And
separately,
Aishwarya, if you can give me a
I
go ahead.
really loved it to be here to attend the festival. So I was just telling the organizers that अगले साल मैं अगर perform भी नहीं कर रही हूँ तो मुझे आना जरूर है because मुझे ये vibe बहुत पसंद है and जिंदगी vibe है दोस्तों तो vibe करते
But
हैं
before we move further,
Just sign off. Kya baat hai, shabash.
जिंदगी vibe है
there are
so thank you so much, ladies. Thank you for
so
giving
much.
us your time. It was wonderful seeing you and speaking.